Brunswick for June 6th, 2024. If everybody please rise for the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our agenda this evening includes two public hearings. Number one is the Park East Ventures amendment to site plan. Applicant seeks to amend the previously approved site plan application to expand an existing building and construct a staging lane on property located at 1173 Hoosick Road at the intersection with Church Brick Road. Public hearing to commence at 7 p.m. Park East Ventures Incorporated is the applicant. Number two, Chanel, site plan amendment and special use permit. Applicant seeks to amend a previously approved site plan application and also seeks a special use permit to expand an existing self-storage facility on property located at 20 Irish Lane. Public hearing to commence at 7:15. Tom Chanel is the applicant. There is also other items that are new business to follow the regular agenda. First we have the public hearing for Park East Ventures. I will read the instructions for the procedure for the public hearing. The purpose of the public hearing is to hear concerns, comments, and views from the general public regarding a particular proposal or application. All public hearings will be electronically recorded and a written record of the proceedings is generated. In most cases, the written record is included with the minutes of the planning board regular meeting, which is conducted immediately after the public hearing. The applicant will be required to respond to all concerns and comments made at the public hearing, and subsequently, the planning board will consider all concerns and comments when evaluating the application to ensure that the applicant has addressed all the issues in question. The public hearing will be conducted as follows. The notice of public hearing will be read by the planning board attorney. Next, the applicant will give a brief presentation on the proposal and will provide any updates on the application. Upon completion of the applicant's remarks, the chairman of the planning board will recognize persons from the public, and these individuals will be allowed to speak and offer their comments, concerns, and views. Since the proceedings of the public hearings are electronically recorded, it is requested that all speakers come up to the podium and use the microphone there and give their name and address for the record. At this time, I'll have the notice of public hearing read by the planning board attorney, Andy Gilchrist.
Notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by the planning board of the town of Brunswick at 7 p.m. on Thursday, June 6, 2024, at the Brunswick Town Hall, 336 Town Office Road, Brunswick, New York, 12180, to review an application for an amendment to a previously approved site plan submitted by Park East Ventures, Inc., for property located at 1173 Hoosick Road at the intersection with Brick Church Road. Copies of the application and supporting documents are available at the Brunswick Town Hall and are available for public inspection during regular business hours. All interested persons will be heard at the public hearing. This notice was published in the Eastwick Press, placed on the town signboard, posted on the town website, mailed to owners of properties located within 300 feet of the project site.
Thank you. Will the applicant come up and give a brief presentation and any updates? And please make your comments towards the audience. Sure. And if you could, any displays towards the audience. Absolutely.
Turn this way. Take the mic. My name is Travis Rosenkrantz. I'm a project manager with Craig Manning here on behalf of Park East Ventures Incorporated, also Reifenberg. We're advancing a site plan application to amend the current site plan for a facility that exists at the intersection of Brick Church Road and Hoosick Road. It's a former site that operated for various businesses, one being the former Tractor Supply that has recently relocated, and then also an office building for Park East itself. The applicant has seen a need in relocating their previous facility on Brick Church Road to the facility that we're discussing today. And I'll walk through the site plan, really the high level of what we're proposing on the site. So really the main need was to provide an additional storage space behind the existing building. I'm gonna sneak around, hopefully it's going to be caught by the microphone. There's a building expansion being proposed on the back side to be used for maintenance for the construction vehicles that are currently owned and operated by the applicant. A second portion of the project is a gravel staging area that will be used for storage of excess material that has not made it to the construction site itself. So really, there's two parts. The majority of the site disturbance is associated with the grading of an existing overgrown field, we'll call it. There's no tree clearing, all of it is earth movement, all soil being disturbed, constructed, compacted will be maintained on site. So what we provided is a gravel storage area for the applicant to make use of, and provided various erosion sediment controls and screening down at the bottom, and stormwater treatment and attenuation on site. I won't get into the nitty-gritty, but as far as the stormwater and the grading, but everything proceeding thus far has, in our opinion, been in compliance with DEC and any of the other town regulations that's required for site plan review. We do propose two lights. One is a quad-based light up in the storage area, just to give the existing parking lot lighting and access just to light up the functioning capacity of the current parking lot that's there. So there's no overspray onto neighboring parcels. One additional light is just at the entrance of the gravel staging area, just for safety and the operations of the personnel on site. A couple other portions of that is kind of linked with the building expansion is we're proposing just a covered concrete wash pad for washing the facility, the vehicles prior to coming in, or anything else that needs to be stored on site. That is covered. We've advanced any of the drainage required for that in direct review with the town and also their designated TDE. As far as anything out front, nothing is being changed out front. What you may have seen in the past as far as the Kubota tractor sales and equipment sales, that business has totally relocated to the south, and as they've been bought out by Town Line Equipment. Out front, it will still maintain as parking, overflow parking to the south of the existing building. There'll be the occasional display of equipment that's offered by Park East. Much reduced than what you've seen in the past when the site was full occupancy. So really that we initiated a site plan review back in February and proceeded through various iterations of design comments from the town and also their TDE, and we're pretty well set as far as meeting compliancy with any of their reviews. We're here today, and that's really the high level summary as far as changes from the last time we were here in May. We offered an updated site plan that really fine-tuned some of the details as far as the use of the facility and the number of employees and the occupancy. So that's really all. I'll keep it short and sweet, and I don't know if to open up the questions or let you run the procedure.
I will open up the floor to anyone who wishes to come up and make any comments, have any questions. Questions should be directed towards the applicant at this point.
Jonathan Mann, 91 Hill Road, right there. Existing fill in that space is already filled up on my property. I'm wondering what is going to be done to prevent that from happening in the future.
As far as what's happening with this particular project, that is not, I think that's a different thing to address. We're not, the only place that we are is grading this to the property line that is currently owned by Park East. As far as anything going on here, that's something I'm unaware of and not something that we've explored as part of this application. So they're referring, if I can spin this around,
Sure.
so I have this right here, this parcel here,
This parcel.
this parcel.
Yes.
And what was the issue?
There's been 10 feet of filled in on that, the southern edge of that property there, and that fill is spilling onto my land.
Okay.
I don't think that's, we have a,
It's filling this area here, yes, on my land.
I don't know how far we want to proceed because that's not really,
Andy, would you like to give your opinion on this? I mean, it's a comment made at a public hearing. It has to be.
It is, it's an appropriate public comment. It deals with the overall property, but it's not, as explained by Mr. Rosencrantz, it's part of the proposed amendment to the site plan.
This building 10 feet higher than it was a year ago.
It may be an existing issue as in between property owners, but not relevant to the site plan amendment in front of the board. Doesn't mean the issue's not relevant between the property owners, but it's not with respect to.
but thank you, because I know it wasn't part of this application or procedure needed for the site plan, so I didn't know how to
Okay. It seems like
appropriately address without opening.
Do you have any other comments on the site plan?
I did want to also request that the lighting be made an effort to not point skyward. Go.
I will confirm they're downward directional.
Okay.
And we have a light foot candle analysis that shows
Okay.
0 foot candles at the parcel down there. So,
You guys are in that. Yeah. Thank you.
thank you.
Is there any other individuals who want to come up and make any comments?
Evening. My name's Timothy Bauer. I own 1135 and 1137 Hoosier Road. I believe I'll be one of the most affected neighbors of this project. I'm familiar with the rights and virtues of the property, and I don't have an issue with it. It can be noisy sometimes, but I live on Route 7, which is noisy all the time. My only concern with this project is the same as it was with the first approval, is my well. I spoke to Jay Ryan at the original meetings. He told me that it was, when I told him my concern, he said it would be no problem, that there was going to be a fire hydrant just off the property line, and he could hook me up to the public water. So I didn't see anything go on there, so I didn't know what that was. So I gave him my blessing, because I was satisfied. With the change in the plan, I now have two concerns with the well being of my well. The first being the possibility of the well drying up. The plan shows the water being diverted away from my property, which is a good thing, except for how it affects my well. The second is the possibility of contamination. Anybody who knows about construction equipment knows it can leak. This is in no way an accusation. You guys run a tight ship, but things happen. Hydraulic lines blow, tanks leak. It can happen. I see there's a sediment pond in the plans, but that only catches surface runoff. Anything that's soaked into the dirt could potentially find its way into my kitchen sink. The water literally comes out of the ground in random areas off of that hill on my property. After seeing the nightmare in Hoosick Falls not too long ago, it worries me. In Hoosick Falls, there was a large number of people affected, so there was an expedited rapid response. Where in this case, it would be just me and my family to deal with it, as everyone else around me has the public water. Although I didn't see the hydrant in the new plan, I'm hoping that Riffelberg is still willing to make that water connection, hopefully to both of the houses. And if they were willing to do that, I would give them my blessing.
Do you wish to make any comment at this time?
As far as the surface water and the contamination, we did treat this property as a hotspot. So any of the surface water that is conveyed from the gravel surface or any potential storage, or let's go even extreme potential contamination, is directed to the under drain that's wrapped, forebay that's wrapped, and then is discharged further south towards the Route 7 corridor. As far as the reason I mentioned the hotspot is, as far as stormwater requirements with DEC, if it's considered a hotspot, it has higher thresholds of water quality treatment and stormwater treatment. Instead of being a reduced level, I'm just giving. I'm not trying to.
I understand.
I'm just trying to give you what we're showing, and then also we'll respond accordingly, because there's another portion of your question. But not trying to smooth it over, just trying to tell you that it's an extra level of volume of treatment because of that hotspot required because of any potential storage of construction equipment, leakage, anything like that.
Thank you.
The second portion, I can't answer.
We'll discuss the second portion at the regular meeting. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Chuck, have we received anything in mail?
We received nothing in the mail. or
Electronically?
By email.
Okay. If there's no more comments, I will close the public hearing, but I'll give everyone another chance. Is there anyone who wishes to make any comments, express any views or opinions, questions on this particular project, Park East Ventures amendment to their site plan? Okay, hearing none, I will canvass the board. Do they have any issues with adjourning the public hearing? And I'll make a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Second.
Would the motion be to adjourn or close the public hearing?
Oh, I'm sorry. Close the public hearing.
Second.
Do a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, we've completed the first public hearing. We have another public hearing to have at 7:15, and then after that, the general meeting will open up, at which point, first on their agenda would be the Park East Ventures. So the second public hearing is the Canal Site Plan Amendment and Special Use Permit. And at this time, I'll have the planning board attorney, Eddie Gilchrist, read the notice of public hearing.
Notice of public hearing, notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by the planning board of the town of Brunswick at 7:15 PM or soon thereafter and may be heard on Thursday, June 6, 2024 at the Brunswick Town Hall, 336 Town Office Road, Brunswick, New York, 12180. to review an application for an amendment to a previously approved site plan and a special use permit application submitted by Tom Chenille for property located at 20 Tidebush Lane. Copies of the applications and supporting documents are available at the Brunswick Town Hall and are available for public inspection during regular business hours. All interested persons will be heard at the public hearing. The notice was published in the Eastwood Press, placed on the town signboard, posted on the town website, and mailed to owners of all properties located within 300 feet of the project site.
Okay. The applicant can give their presentation at this point.
My name is Tom Schnarl. It's pretty simple. There's an existing storage unit facility located at 2520. There has been no changes since the last meeting. And we're just looking to add 2 more buildings to the property, one in the back and one on the west side, totaling 23 units. And that's about it. Anybody have any questions?
Okay, at this time, I'll open up the floor to anyone who wishes to come up and make any comments, any questions, concerns. Once again, is there anyone who wishes to go up and make any comments, concerns, voice any opinions? Sir, come on.
I'm Paul Bueller. Just a question, how large is the structure?
Okay, they're, say that again?
Are they set to similar?
Yeah, but they're only a single unit deep. So they're a little smaller. The one in the back you won't even see from the road, and the one on the west side you can see the end of it. So as far as the size goes, one's 3,400 square feet, but it's a little bit longer than the existing building. Like half of it. And this one over here is 10 by 20. So 7 feet long, 10 feet deep.
Okay, is there anyone else who wishes to come up and make any comments, have any questions, have any issues with this project? Okay, hearing none, members of the board, we don't have a problem with closing the public hearing.
I'll make the motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? I forgot to ask Chuck.
No electronic or written.
Let the record show there was no letters or electronic messages. Okay, you can sit down right now, but we're gonna have you on our agenda right after parties. Okay? You need to record that David Tarbox recused himself. Okay, welcome back, Dave. Okay, first on our business agenda is the review of our minutes of the past meeting. Meeting of May 16th, I believe. Has everybody had an opportunity to read those? Are there any corrections, additions, or amendments to those minutes? Okay, hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as they were submitted. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, looks like that approved. Okay. Back to our regular agenda, the parking expenses. I want to back up, Travis. Just so, as you're getting ready to present here, we did receive a notice of zoning review action from the county. And after having carefully reviewed the information submitted as part of the subject referral, the Bureau of Economic Development and Planning has determined that the proposal does not have any major impact on county plans and local considerations shall prevail. Did you get a copy of this?
I did not.
You want to make a copy, Russ?
Now, we've had the public hearing. You heard several comments. One had to do with an issue, I would say, that is not related to the site plan, we determined that. However, it does have to be responded to. The other one had to do with wells and water drainage, so forth and so on. I think the question I have is in regards to public water made available. Is that something that is on the docket here or not? Or is this-
That's currently not part of the application for the site plan. They are they're currently on a public water feed that comes off of the subdivision that runs around back. The dead ends here.
Okay,
Well, the closest water is the gas station.
gas station,
Yeah. The old SPIAX, the water line was run across Route 7 for that.
okay.
It's my understanding it comes, might be better shown on the aerial. It comes across back in here.
I vaguely remember when this project first came up before us, that there was some concerns by the neighbors about hooking up the public water. I'm not sure where that went. Do you recall that at all?
Well, when Jimmy lived there, SPIAX, we hooked him up. And then when they tore his house down and built the new gas station, they have the public water.
Okay.
So it ends right there, that's where it's not.
But the water that serves Parky's facility comes from Springbrook?
Yep.
There's a 6-inch line that comes through the back. Sorry, actually more through.
The reason that was is because years ago, New York State used to have their salt shed there.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's right. The wells.
And that's not connected to the, yeah.
No.
No. The one across the street is, across two of the streets, connected to the street.
My guess is SPIAX is a private, the people that own the gas station, it's not like it's a public thing that people can tap into.
It's a service line.
It's just services that gas station.
Is that
There's
true?
a manhole, or there's a fire hydrant down towards the Harley place. That's on the other side of the road.
Now, the gentleman that made those comments, where is his house?
I'll come back to the aerial, sorry.
So they're west.
They are right there. Do I see that?
So they would have to, in order to hook up, they'd have to go underneath the Route 7. Is that correct? All right.
There's a water main that comes down from Grafton that goes across the top of that field across from Route 7. And
Right about there.
yeah, well, it's up in the
Farther
top,
up.
there's a manhole. So it comes down kitty corner to that hydrant. And then, the gas station tapped into that. And ran it across another road.
Where, so we going west, the first one that actually was serviced was the Harley Davidson. That water line. And in order to, you have to cross underneath Route 7 to service the other, houses. Right? Did I hear the app, or the individual say that that was part of the deal on the first thing? I don't know anything about that.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's from the SJ, I guess.
Okay. How do we address that? How does the applicant respond to that?
Simply, the issue was raised about concern of impact to the existing private well, and that should be responded to by the applicant. I think Travis already addressed in part surface water, but the issue of groundwater was addressed as well, so that should be responded to.
Okay. Well, at this point, since there's several comments, the planning board requires a, written response to this before we can move forward. And we have to be satisfied with the response to that. I think that was it with the public hearing. There was nothing received electronically or by mail. So, you know what you have to do there.
So procedurally, do we get an official hard copy of the comments, or is it just really for my notes that I see?
No, you get a copy, the minutes are gonna reflect.
Perfect. And when will those be?
Probably early mid part of next week on the town website.
Now, we did receive several, of course, we had a review letter from Ron LaBerge. He is here tonight. Ron, do you want to make any comments on that review letter?
Just briefly, easier than,
This is an engineering review.
so, really, they had addressed all our previous comments. There was just one lingering thing on the amount of material, cost versus fill, and just based on the plan that was submitted and our review, there still seems to be a couple thousand yards, 4,000 yards of material kind of unaccounted for. Travis and I did talk about that a little bit. He was going to check his numbers, but I think it was behooved to incorporate in a response for the public comments, just how that's going to be addressed. I mean, you can lose material on the site fairly easily, because it's good chunk of material.
Okay.
I mean, we did speak with, we have the owner here, we all know their expertise with movement of dirt. A lot of that material is not considered compacted, you'll lose at least 10% just compaction. That volume is not necessarily taken into account, that's a fluff volume as it comes off. So it's not necessarily a compacted volume. So we're confident that that comment is not a deal breaker, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
Sorry, interrupting you.
No, that was basically it. I just think, when you respond to public comments, include that. Anybody have any other questions on it?
Now, we did also receive the full environmental assessment form.
Correct. I prepared the draft for the board review.
Yeah.
Time comes.
Procedurally, should we review this now, or?
No, I would suggest, since one of the comments raised does address a potential environmental issue, that the applicant should be given a chance to respond to that before you make this a determination.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So we got that. Does the board have any questions at this point? Ron, do you have any questions
No, really, just the one on
on
the custom.
bill? Okay. Well, we close the public hearing. The applicant has to respond to it, right? Which hopefully will be doing by the next meeting. And our next meeting is scheduled for June 6th. No, June 20th, we are June 6th. June 20th. Will that be available, will you be available for that meeting? We can probably.
Well, someone will be here, yeah. It just matters what's the deadline for responding to those comments. If it's not formally documented until next week, or next 2 weeks, we want to see those. Who's gonna be-
All right. Well, you can get a head start on your own notes if you want.
That's what I'll do.
All right. Okay, if there's no other questions, then we'll adjourn you to the 20th, and hopefully we'll be able to proceed ahead.
Just confirming those are 2 weeks in advance, because 2 weeks is today.
Yes, it's the second, we meet on the first and second Thursdays.
First and third.
So today is the 6th, the next meeting is scheduled for the 20th.
I mean, as far as the submission, because you'll need those comments prior to.
Oh, how many days do you? I would say if you could get them in to the town board or the building department for distribution by the 17th or 18th, I think that would be fine.
Thank you.
Or you can provide it by an email, which one the office would
Okay.
distribute it by email.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay, second on our agenda is Chanel site plan and amendment.
You're exercise today.
What's that?
You're exercise today.
I tell you.
We had the public hearing. There was one comment. I would say that the comment was answered at the meeting. And therefore, that would be noted in the official minutes. So at this point, I would waiver the requirement for anything in writing at this point. Consider answers. But other than that, you didn't have other comments. We had no letters, we had no emails or anything. So you're through the public hearing phase here. We also received a county letter also from the review. And there was two questions. There was one question. I don't think it was submitted properly, but it was answered by two different responses. The first was the notification of zoning review for the site plan amendment, at which point, having carefully reviewed the information submitted as part of the subject referral, the Bureau of Economic Development and Planning has determined that the proposal does not have any major impact on county plans, and that the local consideration shall prevail. We had checked that there is also a site plan amendment, so they questioned that, and they submitted a second action review of the action, and they just questioned, does the expansion facility require a special permit, if a special use permit already has existed for the existing facility?
So the answer to that would be when the project was first reviewed, is my understanding, the zoning ordinance at that point in time did not require a special use permit.
Okay.
And the current zoning law for that use does require a special use permit. That's why the application was submitted for both.
Okay. So you're all right? Because we are reviewing both of them simultaneously. You can have a copy of those if you like. Now, moving forward here, we've received and reviewed the EAF. We've gone through the site plan, had questions, answered them, we've changed a few things, and so forth, put some things on the drawings and so forth, and so on that were required. Does anyone have any questions at this point on this document? Engineering wise, is there any questions?
No, the applicant has responded, taking care of any comments I had prior.
At this point, you can consider a seeker declaration. Would anyone like to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, so negative declaration, I
I'll
have a
make
second.
the motion for negative declaration.
I have a second.
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we got the secret determination done. Now on the site plan amendment and the special use permit. Someone like to make a motion or any conditions that we have to place on that? I don't believe it is.
I don't believe so. All the engineering comments have been addressed and they're on the site plans. I don't see any,
It's an existing driveway, it's,
right?
yeah.
And I'll entertain a motion to approve the site plan amendment and the special use permit. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're all set. Yeah.
Apply for the permit.
Okay, that concludes our scheduled agenda. Once again, the one thing we have that was distributed
There's no
for the new business right now is the Brunswick Acres, the application for the site plan approval. I reviewed this with the building department engineer on Monday. She had all the old approvals and everything. We went through all the drawings. It is identical to what was approved. There are, at that time, Ron LaBerge was our consultant engineer because he was basically taking care of PDDs. This was additional PDD. And he was retained us as the engineer. I spoke with Ron before the meeting. And kicking and screaming, he said he would do this and review this again. So, like I said, Ron, it's a duplication of it. It shouldn't be too much involved here. There was an issue brought up at our meeting about the Corps of Engineers.
I've got a big copy for Ron.
Ah,
I've got a big
Hey,
copy.
you got a
for you.
small car.
that's one.
Can't read them.
Okay. Put it electronic.
I don't believe we have the new, which is supposedly the old, in electronic copy.
Is there anyone here for Brunswick Acres, by any chance?
Just 2 points. Ron, if you could put together an estimate
Yes.
for services so we can get an escrow set up.
Okay.
And then has the application form and fee then submitted.
Got the check today.
Okay. And during our discussion, and I had a discussion today with Andy, there has been going to be some changes to the wetlands delineation as far as the Corps of Engineers versus PVC now, and so forth and so on. This change are supposed to be for 2025, but just as an alert, there may be something in that
Okay.
that may pertain to this. Do you know anything about that, Wayne?
I know little about it.
Yeah.
I haven't read the legislation, but it must be in public review now or something?
Yes.
I thought that was 2025.
Yeah, there's the, it is for 2025. Bill Bradley was at the meeting, and he just wanted us to be aware that there was going to be some changes.
It's been coming for a while.
Yeah.
So it is gonna affect these, or it's not gonna affect these?
Right now, it doesn't look like it will affect us.
So very, very briefly, there's been a change in how federal wetlands are defined and regulated. That may be reviewed on this. And the state in turn has amended the environmental conservation law on wetlands. And DEC is currently proposing, and it's fairly far through the review process of new regulations on state regulated wetlands. Linda's correct, there's certain rules that will apply in 2025, and there's additional rules that I think are 27 or 28. Ultimately, in those out years, 27 or 28, the size of DEC regulated wetlands will be much lower. The 12.4 acres will continue, is my understanding, in 25, but DEC has the ability to regulate additional wetlands at its discretion. And unlike previously, when there were state wetland maps, every project will need to do a state wetlands delineation for review by the department. So it's just different rules. As I understand it, the department has discussed how projects that are currently in the review process will be handled. And I don't know what the final trigger will be, whether there's been a secret determination, whether there's been a project approval. I don't think it will be the project has to either be built or construction started. My understanding is that the project will need to have gone through some kind of review stage, whether it's a secret determination or a project approval. So that should all be considered in connection with this application.
So you're still on the job? Now, moving forward with that, do they want to be in front of the agenda for our next meeting? Officially be put on?
I think once an escrow's been established and Ron has a chance to review the plans, then it makes sense to put it on the agenda. But that's within the board's discretion.
Okay. Board?
The letter that's attached here from the town of Brunswick is fine. Was this an issue, because the copy we have here is not signed?
Which letter are you talking about?
It's in the back of the 8.5 by 11 sheets. It's attached to this. Attached to the plans here. The letter to Mr. Zappone.
I got the February 26th. Okay.
Yeah.
My copy is signed.
I was just curious if it was officially.
Yeah, my copy I had was unsigned as well, but it's my understanding.
Well, Russ,
Yeah, there is a signed version.
Okay.
I have actually two copies if you want one. Andy.
I don't need it. Stated February 26th. Russ.
Correct.
Is it only 2 pages, or is it, because we have 1 page that has.
Yeah, this on one of them.
I have one copy that's one paper. It's displayed on both sides. And then I have, this is February 6th, this is February 26th, and then I have a duplicate copy of February 26th that's printed on two pieces. It's the same letter. It's just that it was printed on both sides of one.
It's my understanding there was a final letter signed by the building department and the stormwater officer, and you all should have a copy of the final letter signed by those department heads. And Ron should get it as well.
Do you have copies of it?
Okay.
I go back to that time.
You mind?
It starts, huh?
There you go.
It's 8.
So,
This is number 10.
we're not gonna put them on our agenda officially until we get the word for that. From Ron.
Yeah, we should talk. Yeah, I mean, this meeting was basically them just making the initial presentation, right?
Yeah,
Well, they could be put, that's
Yeah,
good.
I mean,
There won't be any work for you to do prior to that.
That'd be fine. That's simply all it is.
So this is going through the whole site plan process again?
So it's my understanding the PDD remains in place. This is, yes, an application for major subdivision that will need to be sent through the review process. So there will be a public hearing.
So it says here, PDD expires on the 18th of August, 2024. But if he initiates the project, gets approval by us by the site plan, that it doesn't expire on the 18th of 24.
I don't know the answer to that as we sit here. I have to check the Brunswick zoning law again on expiration of the PDD and how diligently pursuing the project through a new application affects that. That will be reviewed.
And then in the letter here, it says that they're going to supply a construction schedule. Do we know if we receive that?
Oh, we don't know.
No.
okay.
So again, very, very briefly, if I can, just to reorient the board, this was a project that did receive conditional final subdivision approval. The issue was getting work done on the site in terms of grading in order to address septic review by the county health department for a number of the proposed lots. In order to address that procedurally, final conditional approval was granted and afforded a period of time within which to get the work done. That time expired, and so the approval did lapse, and that's why they're back in front of you for new approval. It's my understanding it's the same project, subject to confirmation by Ron's office reviewing the plans. Same project, same layout, same grading. And we'll remind the board that on this overall project, there was a coordinated seeker review. The town board did adopt a seeker determination. So seeker's been completed on the project, so they're back in front of you for major subdivision review.
Okay. So what did we finally decide? We're gonna put you on the agenda for the 20th?
That's fine, we'll be here anyway.
All right. We'll keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because this is a note, there's only one meeting in July because the first one's on the 4th. It has been canceled.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. Okay, you're on the agenda for June 20th. Okay. Is there any other new business? We have old business, I gathered from the.
We got
Here.
Matt Bond with Colton Ridge first. You want to stay with new events?
Do the golden grains. Just keep it up.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right.
I'll give you those
Thanks,
copies, Ron. Ron, I'll give you the copy.
All right.
Okay, Golden Grain, come on up, Nick.
Good evening. Mr. Costa from Advanced Engineering and Zephyr Act, who's the applicant. And Zephyr is looking to get a building permit on this, and the architect is finishing up the drawings. Zephyr? Yes. So he'll be going into the building department fairly soon. Along with Zephyr is also his son. Let's join us tonight. And we made a minor change here that I discussed with Wayne. There was a sidewalk that was shown to be on the east side of Oneida Avenue. We moved it over to the west side, which was able to bring any pedestrians over to the crosswalk that already exists there, instead of having them cross over Oneida Avenue. So we felt that's a safer route for pedestrians. That's why we made the revision to the sidewalk.
We had some discussion on the previous meeting,
Yes.
which see the point. I mean, people probably live around that corner.
Yes. That's one of the safety issues.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions on that? Any questions on the moving of it? Wayne, do you kind of agree with the,
I agree that it's probably a safer route, mid-block crossing. There's already a crosswalk there at the light. Is there one there?
No, it's
No light.
flashing.
No light.
It's a stop sign. Yeah, it's a controlled intersection.
okay,
My only kind of hesitation is that entrance into the gas station, because people like to cross, like right over the stop bar and into the gas station, instead of using, the Hoosier Street entrance to that. I have a little concern about that. Right. And that's up further too, I don't think it's right at that intersection. Is it?
Yeah,
Is it flashing light is right at the intersection?
it's between the driveway for the firehouse. That's
Right, but it's not on, it's not that.
No, it's almost up in between.
now is this new sidewalk, does that cross the entrance to the mobile station?
The pedestrians will have to cross that.
Okay.
You know, the sidewalk stops.
Yeah, to get
Right now, it's not marked for pedestrians.
No,
I think it would have to be marked.
we can certainly add, marking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just adding the complement crossing. There won't be a crosswalk like we have at Oneida Avenue, because that's a major.
Yeah, but it'll be painted.
Yeah, they'll have two white stripes. One on each side to denote the pedestrian.
But that isn't your property, though, right?
No, it's a town right away.
Okay,
That's not private property.
okay. Right. So what I'm implying is you wouldn't be doing it on someone else's.
No, it's interesting because Oneida Avenue is offset in the right of way. It's not built. If the right of way is 25 feet, it's not built at the center line of that right of way. It's actually pushed towards the east.
So it's realigned when they did this,
Yes.
I think it came out kind of angled.
That's correct. It almost lined up with the driveway for the fire houses across the way.
How wide is this sidewalk?
5 feet.
So who stripes the sidewalk, parallel to Hoosier Street?
That's DOT.
DOT stripes.
Yeah, and it has the technical, that's all been done. It was all redone when they did the Music Road work.
I assume you're gonna be responsible for snow removal on the sidewalk.
Yeah, even, Zach.
Not you personally, right?
No, Zach committed to that previously.
Okay.
It's not the town.
Correct, okay.
And the same with striping up to the DOT, well, be up to the gas station parking lot, right? Or no, you're gonna go right through the parking lot up to the. concrete walkway from the DOT driveway, right?
That's correct.
We had discussion as to whether we needed a second public hearing. And I think the consensus of opinion was not necessary, because the sidewalk was discussed at the first public hearing and agreed upon that the sidewalk would be provided. I think I have a technical question for Andy. If the application has been received and the fee has already been, paid, so forth and so on, can we move forward on that at this meeting, or do we have to schedule it for our next meeting?
That's within the board's discretion. If you think there's adequate information, Wayne's had a chance to review it. It seemed at least like you couldn't move forward.
And I personally, I wasn't prepared for it, because I didn't know it was going to be, you had to be formally here about it.
I think I would like some time to work out some of the details here. You have a granite curve that runs down, what's the detail gonna look like that matches up with the asphalt? You're not extending the granite curve, correct? So
That's correct. All we would be doing, Wayne, is striping that, driveway from where it's at.
But I'd like to see like a section view where the curb is and where there's no curb, just kind of satisfy myself how you're making that interface between concrete sidewalk and the asphalt roadway. I mean, that's not a typical detail, when you just lay it up against
Okay.
the asphalt.
I had a comment about the location of the signage for the one-way driveways within
Within the site?
well, it's actually in the DOT right away. Right along Hoosick Street in that sidewalk area there, and also in that center median.
Right.
You show the signs in the middle of the pedestrian walkway. There's noted a curb drop and then a sign, so those signs need, there needs to be adequate space for the,
This isn't a pedestrian.
I think those signs indicated one-way entrance.
Yes, it does, but,
Their location should not be directly.
no, that would not be placed so that it would interfere with the pedestrian use of that. That's correct. Yeah, that would be,
Offset.
when they install that, they would hold it to be away from the pedestrian way.
I think that occurs on both sides.
Yeah, both sides, that's correct.
And then I also wasn't sure if the does the DOT issue a permit there? Will they issue work permit?
What's that?
Will they issue a work permit for that?
I don't believe so. For what?
For the signs?
I'll look at the sign.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know that they have a work permit.
Well, they'll do a perm 33, you gotta go through the perm 33 process, and they'll look at not only the driveway, the signs, the curving, drainage. Have you started that yet?
Yes, but the driveways are already there. They're not constructing those driveways.
Like the driveway.
There's no
We're
additional
making
curb.
some change.
No, we're not to the physical driveway. The driveways are remaining the way they are. All we're doing is placing the signs.
Don't review that.
And
We'll still review the driveways.
yeah, no,
Whether they were there before or not. Yeah.
Do you have to get a DOT permit for that?
do any work in there right away, yes.
Okay,
But it's a permit 33,
so that would be a condition of approval, right? That they get those permits. They actually have to be done before.
I think we already conditioned that.
Certainly be a condition to your action.
Okay.
that's how it was done. Yeah, we were doing that.
Okay, we still have a little work to do here. So, we can know that would be done by our next meeting on the 20th. Okay, and, we'll put on the agenda officially on it. For the 20th. And hopefully we can move forward and get that done.
Yes. Like I said, Zephyr is, the architect is finished wrapping up the drawings. The drawings will be submitted for, the building will be submitted for the building permit soon.
Okay,
Thank you.
sounds good. Thank you. Okay, anybody behind there? Okay. Dan?
Good evening, everybody. Matt Bonaparte Engineering here. Presenting the Colton Bridge subdivision for Paramount Building in New York.
Okay, I did get some information on that.
Yes. I think, the meetings that we did a couple weeks ago, the meeting a couple weeks ago, the board had a chance to look at the sketch plan for this one.
Okay,
We'd submitted the
so
sketch.
officially, you're still,
Sketch.
they were put on the agenda, were they?
No.
So where are they officially in the pecking order here? Are we gonna review this and then put them on our agenda officially? We got more surprises tonight. So this is like a second sketch plan?
Well, under the town subdivision regulations for major subdivision, there's no procedure for sketch plan. There's an application submitted with a preliminary subdivision plat with the requirements as set forth in the subdivision regulations. Whether you want to entertain something less than that,
Has an application actually been formally received and fee collected?
No.
We've, you might have sent in the application, the fee, I'll follow with my fee. For that.
50%.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Well, give us what you got here. And then
Absolutely.
and if we get the application in formally and everything by, Friday before the next meeting, we'll be on the agenda.
There is an application.
Yeah, it wasn't paid. The application's in, there's been no payment.
There's an application for major subdivision.
Have to follow up with our applicant on the fee. My understanding, the fee was on the way, must not have made it yet,
Okay?
so.
yeah, my recollection was at that meeting, Wayne did request a lot of additional information. He even started reviewing this, most particularly topo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I can give just a quick update on the project.
Okay, so why don't you
If
do
you
that?
don't mind. So it's about 33.5 acres, total of land here, bulk of it being on the eastern side of the intersection, Spring Creek. And there's about 5.5 acres over on the western side. Boundary survey is underway at this time. Topographic survey is underway at this time. We should be getting that back very shortly. Wetland delineation has been completed on the project, as well as the archaeological study with a response back from SHPO with the letter of no findings. Right now, we're proposing 18 lots. The western portion of the parcel is in the A25 zone, I'm sorry, the R25 zone, while the eastern portion is in the A40. So every single lot that's proposed here is minimum 40,000 square feet to meet the minimum lot widths. Setbacks on the side, front, rear are shown schematically on the drawing here. Every lot here, 11 of them are 50,000 square feet or greater, so they're well above the minimum requirements. We did have a nice discussion with Mr. Bradley of the water department on the existing water line connection. Here's the town line ends here at the northeastern corner of the intersection. There's a hydrant, and there should be a tap on the T there. So we'd be proposing extending the water line, bringing it into service the new subdivision proposed cul-de-sac. Stormwater review is underway. We see we have a proposed stormwater management basin. That's at the low point in the project. And any other details. So water is proposed to the public at this time, as there's not sanitary sewage available in this area. We're proposing on-site individual wastewater treatment systems. So septic systems on each parcel.
Now you have to get you have more than 12 lots at the end of a dead-end street. So you have to go to the town and get a waiver on that.
We have a rule, you can only have 12 homes on a cul-de-sac.
So you have more, and then what happens is the town is going to come back to the planning board as to make a
Recommendation.
recommendation one way or the other on that.
Is that gonna be a town dedicated road or is it gonna be a private road?
The intent is for it to be town dedicated this time.
And is that to town specs?
Yes. Yes. And so we're discussing the sub-base requirements and the requirements. I think we're still in the middle of that. As far as the shoulders of the road, back and forth between closed drainage versus open drainage, the discussions with Mr. Bradley. He pointed out DEC is pushing towards open drainage on a lot of these sites now, because you can employ vegetated swales to provide additional treatment and infiltration of the stormwater runoff as you convey it to the stormwater management area. But yes, the intent is for it to be up to town standard for town dedication.
Okay.
Questions from the first meeting, the lot on the corner of Spring Ave and Creek Lane.
Yep.
This is part of this subdivision as well.
It's not proposed at this time.
It's not proposed at this
Existing on a
time.
separate lot, and the plans to keep it separate.
Is the North Greenbush property line the same as the, is the North Greenbush town line the same as the property line? I think I asked you that before and you said yes.
Yes, yeah. I think it's actually the North Greenwich here, and if I'm not mistaken, is supposed to go.
Yeah. And then I think we spoke about earlier, the utility lines and you weren't certain if that was actually official easement for 11, 10, 9, and 8. It goes through the backs of them.
Yep.
Have you done anything on that? So,
Yeah, so that's being researched currently as part of the boundary. So the boundary survey is well underway. So it appears at this time that it's just to service a single home here. So we'll see what the official easements are. It may be necessary to relocate those poles closer to the property line to allow proper development of those lots.
Just to clarify something, this one lot that would be on the west corner of
Yes.
is that a separate lot or is that included in the whole parcel?
This is a very interesting parcel of land because it's split by the road. So that this is all currently one tax parcel. It spans the road. So that is proposed as lot number 18 at this time. That's about 5.5 acres itself.
And you have two lots that would actually have frontage on Spring Avenue, right?
Correct. Correct.
Spring Avenue is a county road?
Yes, Spring is County Route 130, and Creek is County Route 139. Lots 1 and 17 also have frontage on Creek Road.
So then
Does
how?
that count as lots on the cul-de-sac?
That's what I was just gonna ask.
Yeah.
No, I don't typically do that, no. I don't think so, as long as it's got frontage on it, right?
So how many lots then would you have on
17.
15? Okay.
So I counted it.
Yeah, so we'd only be down to 13.
This would be, down to 13.
So that's good in your favor. 13. You know, we're asking for 18.
Right, right. Yeah.
The
Minor.
So 3 lots on the, 4 lots on the top there, there's a line going through the middle of them.
Oh, here?
Is that the DEC wetland line?
Correct. Correct, yep, that is, so this, the remainder of the wetlands are Army Corps, so no setbacks. And this northern wetland is DEC wetland. 100 foot setback.
That's the 100-foot setback?
Correct, correct. So that line indicates the 100-foot setback line. So there's, let's see, this map is at an 80 scale. So there's about 80 feet of space here in the 80 to 100 feet of space in that building area.
Is there adequate distance for the septic systems to be?
Yes, yeah, so the septics themselves are 100 feet from the wetlands, so they could be right on the edge of the buffer zone.
You'll probably have them, the way the terrain is, I don't know what it's gonna look like after the cut and fill, but the way the terrain is, you're gonna have the septic system in the front yard.
Yeah, so.
Because that's just, you know,
We have a public water being available, we have a much more flexibility with the location of the septics.
Yeah.
So we're gonna maximize separations from any sensitive areas for sure.
And the work that's been done out there in the last month? What was that? Is that the Shippo or whatever? Somebody's been in there with an excavator on that lot.
that's Tom Wendell. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it
that's
is in
intelligent.
line with what that road is, right? It's more like going across the.
Yeah, where the pond is.
Detention pond.
I'll have to check with the applicant, I know there's some intent for soil testing in the area, so I'll have to check with the
Looks
applicant.
like a greater road through there.
That's one straight line, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right.
Bill's aware of him being there, Bill Bradley.
Are you gonna take that knob down on that hill or?
Got to.
So they're currently the grades in this area, so we should be getting the field topography shortly, but looking at the available LiDAR mapping, some of the grades there would exceed the 10% grade for the road coming up, so we're probably gonna have to take that down and spread some of the fill out to make the building lots a little more aesthetically pleasing and pleasant overall. You're not having a 15% grade across the face of the building lot.
Anyone else have any questions at this point?
Do you expect the next site plan to be advanced enough to be able to get hydrant location?
To give what, I'm sorry?
Hydrant location.
Yeah, so at this time, we just put a couple of preliminary spots where we got a hydrant here and a hydrant at the end of the line.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of splitting the difference here. So,
I don't think the fire department will find that adequate.
yeah,
But I will, once we get a print, we'll get it to them and they'll certainly provide feedback.
all right, so my marching orders are topography, further advance the flat plan here. He's gonna be proposing 13 lots on the cul-de-sac, so it's either to go to the town board and request the variance on that, correct, or to eliminate a lot potentially.
Could do that, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Pay the fee, of course.
Yes, yeah, I'll put that on the top, we'll start.
I would.
Okay, and then, is Ian, please let me know the next step. The sketch introduction is, there's not an approval and acceptance of a sketch plan for major subdivision. Is that correct? The rules, it's a preliminary plat, meeting the requirements of subdivision regulations.
You can get from the building department, if you probably already have it in your office. Just look at the procedure for the major subdivision review. And the first step is full submission of the preliminary plat. So whatever's required in the regs for on the preliminary plat, then that'll go to Wayne.
There's something else I was gonna. There's an ag statement have to do?
I would presume for that.
Yeah, it's probably ag statement.
Wendell's been taking hay off it for a few years.
Well, the recce's over there.
And eventually these have to go county for review. County
We're
road.
Rensselaer County again, the county does not review subdivisions, so
You're right.
this one will not.
That was
go
a
to
trick
county.
question.
Well,
There's that, Chris.
state law does say it should go, but our county does not review subdivisions.
Okay, then we, if you want to proceed ahead and you have information for us at our next meeting, we'll put you on the agenda. If not, our next meeting after that is going to be the second meeting in July. This is the fourth.
That's you had probably a preliminary plans.
20th. Sorry, 18th.
18th.
So our next meeting is the 20th. The meeting after that would then be the 18th of July. So do you think you want to proceed ahead and go for the 20th, or you want to get everything going?
Yeah, so, if we can, right now we're 6, so it's June 20th. We would need to have everything in by, let's see,
You'd have to have everything hopefully in by the latest. We would like it in by the 14th for distribution.
Okay.
But I think we could get away with the 17th if that was it.
Okay.
Preferably with the 14th.
Okay, yeah, so we'll aim for the 20th meeting then.
Okay. So you're on.
Town board's next Thursday.
Well, procedurally, again, this board would refer, once you get the preliminary plat, you will refer the applicant to the planning board for the number of lots.
Right. Yeah.
Together with a recommendation. So it'd be premature to go to.
Yeah, so you understand the significance of that, right? You have to decide whether you want 13 lots, or you want 15, or you want to combine, reduce it down to 12 max.
Yep.
And then have that reflected on a drawing.
Absolutely.
And then, like Andy said, we can then move forward and turn it over to the town for their review.
Yeah, if they're maintaining choosing to maintain the 13 lots.
Yeah. I thought we figured 15 lots.
Well, 15, but if you have 2 coming off of Creek, you have the driveways
Oh, yeah,
off of 2,
13,
officially
okay.
it would be 13.
Yeah, I mean, it's a picture. All right,
Thank you very much.
okay, thank you.
All right, I appreciate the board's time tonight.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, there is no other old business, I don't think. However, on old business, at our next meeting, FOIL, which is the Freedom Arms special use permit amendment, is supposed to be before us. That's when he said he could make the next meeting. We still haven't got a determination yet.
Working on that, yeah,
Okay.
in process.
all right? Getting a determination whether it's a retail, classified as retail. So, reviewing our agenda, we have Park East Ventures coming back. We have Brunswick Acres, Golden Grain, and Colton Bridge with Florida. So there's 5 items on the agenda.
Russ, I have a question. This letter that was sent by DOT on Chick-fil-A,
Yeah,
under number 2, paragraph 2. They make a statement about the condition may be inconsistent with our goals.
well, there has been some issues raised about the stormwater management and water going on to the Route 7 drainage areas and so forth and so on.
Well, this is, I think, is more for
That has to do
traffic.
with perhaps allowing for enough right-of-way in the event that Route 7 is widened.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I understood that statement. Was it sufficient or insufficient? There was like.
The
Sounded like it
current
wasn't
plan is
enough.
insufficient what's the wording? Contradictory to the town's goals of, it's not a requirement, it's just one of the town's goals to accommodate widening of Route 7 should it happen in the future.
Also, their statement.
Well, this one was about pedestrian circulation. Where I was talking. Secretary.
There was a statement about bicycles, but
Yeah.
that didn't make sense. Like, they may want to reissue that letter.
Like racks on the foots of the buses.
Is it my imagination or is DOT really scrutinizing this project more than I would have?
Roundabout way, I think.
Well, I think the fact that we just went through a study on Route 7.
Right.
There were certain recommendations made in that study. And I think they're trying to make sure that we're consistent with the recommendations made in the study. Does everybody have a copy of that?
The study,
Yeah, the final study.
it's about 1,000 pages.
It's on the website. I think it would be important to read for the board.
Okay,
But yeah, Route 7 corridor is there, so it's very.
We control, planning. The town controls planning, so.
okay. I guess we,
Puts us in a very curious position, to say the least.
Well, I don't think it's a mandate, I just think that.
No, it's a double-edged sword.
Consistent with
Double-edged sword for us.
but also in regards to the remarks I made first about the stormwater, they have some stormwater issues
They do.
They do.
there. They got a lot of water coming out of that port, and they gotta hold it back somehow. I don't think they've come up with a master plan yet, have they?
I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah. So in addition to that, and the DOT highway comments,
Well, I think it'd be prudent for the board to look at it.
yeah.
That's all.
Well, I agree. I'm sure some of the residents have looked at it. Yeah.
They're pretty vocal at the town board. They're pretty vocal at the town board about it.
Oh, yeah. We even got to our public hearing, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, is there anything else anybody has? Then I will make a motion, if not, I'll make a motion to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Not quite yet.